This book was long overdue. Simon & Schuster has asked me for 20 years now to write an autobiography. And I always felt that I didn't have an interesting enough story. But after I sat in the governor's office for 7 years, and I met all the foreign leaders and I traveled around the world and solved some of the most extraordinary kind of problems that we had, I felt that was an interesting story to tell. And so that's why I wrote the book. And I'm very fortunate that I had Peter Petrie, who is a professional writer and who helped me organize the book and start helping me with my memory and drilling down relentlessly so that I remember some of the details of when I grew up after the Second World War, or my life at home with my parents, and the drill down of why, my father was drinking and why he was so brutal sometimes to us kids and beating us, and also why he was so generous maybe the next day and gave us everything. What was going on at that time after the Second World War, how angry were people at that time, how disappointed they were about the loss of the war and all this stuff. And I drilled down also about, situations like the scandal that I've created that made my family split up. And it's very painful to go through that and to talk about that and to recount all the details and all that. But that's what we wanted to do. I wanted to make a book that gives a presentation to the people of the whole Arnold and not just of the good Arnold. There's a lot of good. There's clearly much, much more good than of the mistakes that I've made. But I also wanted to cover the mistakes and the failures. And so it has become a really interesting book, interesting to do, very difficult to do, but I think that we really put together a great work that it will be very interesting for people to read for many, many different reasons. So, but I'm not looking for any awards on that. I just hope that it sells a lot of copies and that people get inspired by that. It's a time where we must not just think about ourselves or look at ourselves and think about ourselves. What is the best for ourselves? What's the best career move? How can I make more money? How can I be more successful? But we must think also about others that are less fortunate. That it is very important to get to a point in life where you say, okay, I've spent enough time on myself and concentrate on how can I become the best. It's time to switch over and to think about other people. Especially when you're an immigrant, like I have been in America, and you have been received with open arms. It's very important to give back to society, to give back to your community.